Welcome back, guys. Thank you again for tuning back into my channel. I hope you guys enjoyed my other two videos that I posted. I'm trying to get as much content as I can out now that I want to be on it and really delivering as much as I can. So for today, I'm going to show you guys my everyday work or school or just like really hurried in the morning look. So I'm gonna give you like my step-by-step on how I do my makeup in the morning and different ways how just to leave it and go. And if you're really in a rush and if you don't have a lot of time, or if you do have a little bit more time on your hands, how to like kick it up a notch and make it like you're going out and just look flawless all day. So if you want to see my makeup routine, please keep watching. Alright guys, let's get started. So usually on a busy morning, I try to reduce the amount of products that I'm using to make my morning go as fast and as quick as possible. My face is already moisturized. I already have my eye cream on. And as you can tell, my dark circles are so bad. So first I'm going to start with the primer that I normally use. Sometimes I do skip over the primer because I'm in a rush. So for today I am going to use the NYX Photo Loving Primer, the Studio Perfect. This is a drugstore product. All of these are drugstore products and they're affordable. I love this because it is mattifying and it helps my skin not get so greasy throughout the day, which is what I'm going for because for some reason I do get really greasy at work. So I apply it mainly in my T-zone to reduce the glossy, shiny face. So once I've done that, I told you guys I do color correct to really help with my dark circles, and I use the Maybelline Mastro Camo Color Correcting Kit. This is what it looks like. And I use the orange shade to correct. This also has other concealer colors that you can also use, but I usually use my own concealer. I have not tried these. As you can see, they're still in perfect condition. This is the only one that I've tried, but I will try. So for today's sake, I'm not going to touch those. I'm going to show you what I do use. So I just go ahead and correct. Put on all the darkness around my eyes and a little bit on my inner corner because it's also dark there. And I sometimes even spread it out to my nose because sometimes I get a line here on my nose from wearing sunglasses in the sun. I know, so bad. So I try to blend it out so it's not so harsh. So as you can see, it's already kind of downed the darkness. It's orangey, but it's reduced it by a lot. So now I'm going to do the other eye. And I just blend it out with my finger. Because usually I'm rushing. Try just to get it on the areas that you need it, not like all over your face. And then sometimes I do have a little dark spot here from a scar that I had. And I just put the excess down on my chin. So once I'm done with that, I go in with my Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation. I am in the shade 332 and it is a golden caramel. This has been amazing. I've already worn it every single day to work and it's kept me super matte. My greasiness and my oil has been reduced by a bunch and I haven't even really set it. I don't set this. So only thing I hate is that there's no pump or anything, so it can get messy. What I usually do is I just flip it upside down onto my hand, try to shake it a little and slowly lift it up and kind of control the amount that comes out. So I get like, you know, a good amount on my hand. It is a little light, as you can see when I start dotting it on my face. And like I said, my forehead is always like 10 million shades darker, so it looks so much lighter, too light for my forehead, but on my cheeks and chin, it looks pretty, you know, good. So once I blend that out, you'll see. So I just grab my damp beauty blender, take off whatever excess I have on my hand, and so if you see me, I'm looking at my mirror. I said I got a small mirror to see myself instead of what I was working with in my last video. As you can see, it did blend out. It's like a little bit light, but it will work. Just watch. So this brand has really good range, color range, which I love. This is why I love this line, and I'm pretty sure you've heard so many people talk about it. I usually do not take my foundation up to my under eye because I'm already going to put product there, and that's just to reduce any creasing or anything like that. So I'm just blending it all out, bringing it down to my chin and my neck just to make it all look cohesive in one color. I like to go for a nice thin layer of some medium to full coverage foundation. I just don't like to feel heavy, especially for work, because I've noticed that when you go too heavy, I end up getting even more greasy throughout the day. So that's something that can prevent you from getting extremely greasy. I know I look so funny with my hair up, but this is getting done tomorrow. So once I do that, onto the next thing is concealer. So I have two concealers. The one that I do sometimes use, I know it's not drugstore, but it is cheaper than other concealers that you'll find at Sephora and higher ends, which is my MAC Pro Longwear, and this stuff lasts forever. I've had this bottle for a very long time and I love it. It's super full coverage. I use such a small amount and it goes so far. So this is one of my options, and then I also like the Master Conceal in medium. It's a Maybelline Master Conceal by Face Studio in the color medium. This is also another one that I use that's also really good. So for today's video, I'm going to go for the drugstore one because I'm trying to stay within our price range of drugstore products. So same thing, I just dot like a dime size amount, a little smaller than a dime. That's a lot, a dime. Just like a little pin like a little bit, and then with my finger I go in and I just kind of spread it out. I put enough product to be able to blend with it, and then I put the rest, any excess, on the bridge of my nose, and I'm gonna go ahead and blend this all out. As you can see, it's like gave me a nice highlight and like almost an eye lift. This concealer is very full coverage, I feel like it is. I like the undertone. It's not like a pinky, because that's what happens with a lot of these drugstore products. They end up being like more of a pinky undertone, and that usually ends up making my under eyes look really, what's the name, like really stark, or just like it doesn't blend very good with my skin tone. So this is it. And then I go ahead and I set my under eyes with my Benign banana powder, which I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about it. And that's one of my favorite setting powders. And yes, it is like a drugstore. You can't find it at just any drugstore. Some makeup stores sell it, and this stuff is so good. And it also tones down. Sometimes when it's too light, it tones it down a little. So you see the difference for when I set it? It looks so much better, and it doesn't look so stark and like almost a little bit too light. So I'm using a Real Technique brush, and this is the setting brush, so that should be easy to remember. So I just basically just brush it, all the powder, under my eyes, and that's it. So So now I'm done with the base of my face, and basically you can throw on mascara and go if this is good enough for you. But if you want to go the extra step and do a little more, you do. And I normally do because I give myself enough time in the morning to do a little more. So I'm gonna go in with my Morphe palette. This is the Mocha palette, I believe. This is a 25A. Super beautiful colors. This is literally one of my favorite palettes. And then I go in with this top color over here as like just like a base color to kind of make my eyelids all kind of one cohesive color. So I just go in with that color with an e.l.f. brush and I just put it all over the eyelid. I don't go crazy with the eyeshadow. This is literally all I do. I take one nice shadow that you would normally use as like your transition shade on a weekend day when you're doing your full face. And this is my transition shade normally, and it gives it like a nice subtle like eye look, I guess you can say. People have thought that I've done my whole eye makeup before, and I'm like, no, this is just one shadow. But since, you know, on the crease of my eye it's a little darker than the lid of my eye, then it makes it look like I have different shades on my eye, which I don't. It's just one. So I just throw that on over my eyelids, and then it kind of makes it look a little bit more neat and cohesive and not so stark from the concealer that I put a little bit on the inner corner. So if you want to do more, you're more than welcome to do more. This is usually all I do, and I leave my eyes as is. So my next step is to contour / bronze. I don't have time to do both. I usually, on a normal day, I will contour and bronze. But on a school day or a work day or a work morning, I just bronze, and I use the Wet n Wild's Mega Glow Contouring Palette Contour. So it comes with a light shade and it comes with a dark shade. Let me open it up for you. And I use this dark shade. This is in the color Caramel Toffee, and it is very dark. So I go in, and it does give you a little kickback, but that's not bad. I dust it up a little, and then I go in on right where you would put your contour or bronzer shade. So you see how it just gave me a nice little color, gave me more of a color to my face, and now it's not all just one color. Okay, and I'm using a Real Technique brush, and this is the contour brush. So I'm actually using how they're supposed to be used. And then the trick for me, so that my forehead doesn't look so ginormous, because it is big, I usually do contour my forehead, which a lot of people do anyways, but I bring it down a little, almost to my eyebrow. Like, I soften it up. So you see the difference, how it's like, it gives it like a nice shadow compared to here, which is just like so stark and white, and forehead it's like beaming. So that kind of tones down my forehead light with, so I bring it down pretty low. Most of you won't do that because your foreheads are probably not as big as mine, but I have noticed that this does help with kind of giving the illusion of a smaller forehead. And then you can put a little bit on your jawline if you want. Sometimes I even go in and put a little bit on the sides of my nose. If you want to be a little extra, you can. And then this is it with the contour. So even like this is pretty good. It looks like I have a natural highlight. I don't even have any highlight on. That's how great this foundation is. So I'm just gonna go a little bit extra because this is really what I do on a daily basis. And I'm gonna go ahead and do my blush, and I'm using the Milani Luminoso. I'm sure you've heard of this. This is also a great blush. They kind of changed the formula because I know when I've had this before, this is a new one. I've had this before and it had a little bit more sparkle, like shimmer to it, and now it's a little bit less, but it's still pretty good. So I just go with a light hand because it is very pigmented, very. And I put it on the apples of my cheek. You can be extra with it, you know, give your cheeks a little pop. So as you can see, it does still have a little bit of shimmer in it, like a highlight almost, and it doesn't look bad, you know. And you can, like I said, again, this is another time where you can say done, out the door. But if you want to keep getting a little bit more extra with it, you can. And then we're gonna go ahead and apply highlight. So this is the e.l.f. Let me take this off. This is my e.l.f. highlights. And this is in Blush Gems. I've heard so many great things about this. My Target nearby just upgraded and got the e.l.f. section poppin'. So when I saw this, I was like, I gotta get it. So this is when you touch it, if you go like this, it feels a little dry, it looks kind of dusty, it looks like there's not much highlight to it, but it's a very natural highlight, which I like for work. So I just go ahead and put it on the high points of my cheek. I can kind of bring it up to my temples. And then I got some great shine. So you see it's a little bit extra highlight, and here it's just like a little bit just from the blush. And then I go in on my other side, same thing. And this brush is actually from one of the Tarte sets I had bought a while ago. It was a gold, like 2 double-sided brush set. I don't know what this is called, I'm sorry, but just any brush. You can even use a fan brush. I know Real Techniques has a fan brush as well to apply highlight, and I love applying highlight to the tip of my nose. Makes it look so, I don't know, sun-kissed. And a little bit to the bridge of my nose as well to reduce any darkness I have going on there. So that's about it for my face. I do sometimes go in with my beauty blender and kind of set that highlight there because, like I said, it is a little bit chalky. I don't know if everybody else's is like that. Maybe it's just the batch that was at my Target. I've heard such great things about it, so I was like, I gotta have it. So like I said, this is basically my lip. Now I gotta go in with the last step, which is my mascara, and I'm using the Voluminous Paradise. I'm sure you've heard a lot of people talking about this, and I'm not gonna lie, this is bomb.com. Only thing I don't like is that it does get a little bit chunky after a while because I've been using this so much. It's like my favorite, and it has gotten a little bit dry and a little bit chunky, but it is still bomb.com. So as you can see the difference, it's a little bit, my eyes a little bit more lifted and open just from mascara. And that's it. And basically this is how I go to work. in school, and it definitely lasts me all day long. It's really been my best routine. I've tried many different things. I've tried powder, I've tried other liquid foundations, and this has been kind of like my go-to all the time. And you see me holding my lip therapy. This is from the brand Vaseline, and this is one of the best lip products that I love to use to hydrate my lips throughout the day if I don't want to wear lip gloss or lipstick. This is like my go-to, and I sometimes sleep in this just to keep my lips really hydrated. So this is the look. So thank you guys so much for coming to watch me once again on my channel. Please don't forget to subscribe down below. Thank you guys so much for all the support, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.